Welcome everyone to WarThunder Histories, episode 10. Today we have a special episode on the famous tank duel between a US T-26 Pershing of the 3rd Armoured Division and a German Panther in front of the Cologne Cathedral on March 6th of 1945. I hope you enjoy. By 1945, the German army was in full retreat across the Rhine River, destroying crossing points like the Hohenzollern Bridge behind the cathedral in Cologne, which the Allies had hoped to capture. The cathedral had become an aim point for the advance due to its symbolism in the city. Fighting street by street and house by house, the 3rd Armoured Division and 104th Infantry Division had been tasked with capturing the city. Equipped with mostly Sherman tanks of varying models, the 3rd Armoured Division also had a handful of the new T-26 Pershings. The T-26 was armed with a 90mm gun compared to the 76mm gun found on late war Shermans, along with overall better crew protection. The Pershing was considered a masterpiece of wartime US engineering. As the 3rd Armoured Division led the advance fighting against German troops now stranded on the west side of the river, Sherman tanks advancing down Komödienstrasse were stopped by rubble from destroyed buildings. The tanks, led by Sergeant Kellner, are only a few hundred feet from the cathedral. Suddenly, Sergeant Kellner's tank is hit. Both the driver and loader are killed instantly, while Sergeant Kellner and his gunner bail out the top of the turret. Sergeant Kellner has his left leg blown off below the knee, and is being treated by medics in a shell crater, where he later died from his wounds. The Panther, which had been hiding 1,000 feet ahead of the column near the cathedral, had fired 2 rounds at the Sherman, and begun to advance towards the column. The Sherman behind Sergeant Kellner's began to reverse into cover, and radioed to Sergeant Early commanding a T-26 Pershing on An den Dominikanen, parallel to the Shermans, that an enemy tank was ahead of them. Sergeant Early stopped his column and dismounted his Pershing to find the Panther on foot. He discovers the Panther had advanced around 700 feet closer to the knocked-out Sherman, unaware of the Pershing on the parallel street. Sergeant Early then returns to his Pershing and advances to the end of the street, towards the Panther. He orders the gunner, Corporal Smoyer, to traverse the gun to the right, ready to shoot the Panther as they round the corner. The Panther sees the Pershing as it begins to round the corner and traverses its gun to it, but it doesn't immediately fire. Since Pershings were so new and uncommon, the Panther was unable to immediately identify the Pershing as an enemy and so hesitated. As soon as Corporal Smoyer sees the Panther in his sight looking straight at him, he fires on the move, hitting the Panther in the side of the hull. Within seconds, a second round is fired and the Panther crew begins to bail out. Finally, a third round is fired, setting the Panther alight, bringing an end to the duel. The Panther burned for 2 days after becoming a symbol for the fall of Cologne, as the Allies captured the city. Only 2 months later, Germany officially surrendered to the Allies on May 4th, 1945. So while it's not exactly known why the Panther didn't fire, it is widely agreed upon by historians that the Panther crew, expecting to see a Sherman come around the corner, saw something that wasn't a Sherman, and then obviously had to spend that half second to identify the tank as an enemy. And in that half second, with the Pershing already being in a position to fire, with Corporal Smoyer firing the gun the second he sees the Panther, and then luckily getting a direct hit on it, obviously sealed the Panther's fate. Anyways guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I know it's a little bit different, and it's not quite the WarThunder Histories that you've expected and seen before, but I just wanted to test to see how this would be done and see if I can actually film this in certain ways, which is obviously why you've got these interesting camera angles, and you know, it's just something different, and that's what a lot of my content recently has been, just testing to see if we can do things a little bit differently. Now I'd just like to thank Creeper, Golden, Spartan and Pinky for helping me get this footage together. So just before we end here, I'd like to give a shout out to Sparky. He's a fellow YouTuber, and he hasn't asked me to shout him out or anything. He doesn't even know I'm shouting him out, but he has a channel that makes short WarThunder cinematics and Insurgency Sandstorm cinematics and other gameplay in like PUBG, for example. If you could go and check him out, I'm sure you'll enjoy his content. He's been a supporter of my channel from the start, and I figured I'd show my appreciation. And there will be a link to his channel in the video description. But anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, share and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.